Last time on Survivor, Venom and Semaj are realizing that they are on the bottom, losing two close allies in a row, all while Chomp celebrates his great blindside against Istelle.
Now that was a remarkably successful tribal council. Move's a move, Istelle is gone, and this is really perfect for my game.
At the immunity challenge, Harrison ended up coming out with immunity. Back at camp, Faith and Controller were back on the chopping block. But with the OG Jawaki tribe running the game, they decided to keep Faith and that Venom was a better vote. And Venom ended up going home, leaving Semaj all alone in this game. Who'll be one step closer to claiming sole survivor, and who'll be voted out tonight?
You're all
It
just
should have
like,
been Faith going home this time.
I'm just annoyed at the trend of people doing last minute names. Like, it could be any of us if that trend continues.
Yeah,
We won't have any control.
It's not a reliable way to play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am picking up on that as well, and it's not, like you said, it's not a reliable way to play.
I
From,
don't know
from what I
where it
understand,
came
just
from, but
him being a threat, just kind of playing behind the scenes, I guess. You know, just
Yeah, Venom was
Not
very
really.
social.
Was it Faith
Yeah,
who
very
started that,
social.
I'm gonna guess?
I don't know
again?
where it came from because it came.
Yeah,
Was
do
it
we know
Faith
who
who
said the
started that?
name?
You can't ask me. So
oh, I'm sure Faith was deep into it. I got messaged, and so I was like, okay. I kind of saw it as, okay, we can keep Faith versus Controller going, and I know, like, you know, every time you keep someone in, they just get deeper and deeper in the game.
Yeah, it's the second time that they served
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, the first time it wasn't my fault. So
Yeah, no,
first time
first time it wasn't your fault. That first time
Yeah.
was bullshit. This time is also kind of baloney, but
Well, I say we attempt to regroup here, and you know,
Mhm.
refocus our
I'm
efforts
down.
together.
I don't know who I can trust anymore after that massive blindside.
No,
I understand.
Getting
I think it's just
blindsided.
like people just like sporadically just like doing
He
stuff last
switching
minute,
stuff
and then
up.
people just
Yeah, but how
Yeah.
do we stop that? Like,
we
if
realized
I don't know
we
where that's
didn't
coming
vote that way,
we would need
and
like
we just
we
stick
do.
with it.
we would need
Yeah, like, it's
5
pretty
votes
simple.
guaranteed that we know would not.
I think if we go for Controller or Faith this time and get the other one out the following time, then that leaves us 4 with the other 3 of them. You know,
Mhm.
Adachi, Alison, and Chompzers. And then from there on, we theoretically have the numbers if the 4 of us right here stuck together. I've had some pretty successful tribals. Obviously, when Istelle went home instead, it wasn't my best moment, but again, I didn't see Istelle in my in-game plan anywhere near it really, so I didn't mind that. But this is all me. And what's great is the only person that knows this move against Venom was all me is Chompzers. And he tried to give me full credit, like in our private conversations. And I was telling him, no, man, this took a group effort. This was all of us. You know, I just happened to pitch the idea. I think you, me, and Chompzers are like got to be the solid 3. We can use Faith and Controller where we want to. I think
You just gotta
Controller
be
should be the
careful.
next to
That's all
go.
I'm saying. Yes, I
What's that?
agree. I agree.
Yeah, I think Controller's
just
got to
gotta
be
be
next to go. I think it goes Controller, and then Faith, and then from there we just dominate. You know, we could take out. You know, here's the thing I want to bring up really quick.
Mhm.
I like Adachi, and I think he's pretty much for the most part been a number for us, but he's pretty good at challenges, and
Yes.
so I don't know if I want to necessarily take that super deep. But in reality, I am the only reason that this happened is because I brought Venom's name up. But what's great is everybody else thinks it was just like somebody just said a name and people were like messaging and things happen out of nowhere, you know, out of thin air, which is great for now. But what's great is when I put Chompzers' ass on the jury and I'm in the final 3, all I gotta do is be like, hey, Chompzers, you were there. You remember when I said this and I was the reason that Venom did this? And that's gonna be a really big thing for me. But all in all, I'm stoked. I'm in the final 9. I have the necklace around my neck right now. I have 2 idols in my pocket. And right now, it's the names that are being said is Controller and Faith. And it looks like they're planning to go back to back. So at that rate, I'm in the final 7. Final 7 with 2 idols and, you know, the potential to win comps along the way. I mean, again, knock on, there's no wood around here to knock on, but knock on wood, things are looking really good. I'm having a blast. This is probably the most fun I've ever had playing a Survivor because I'm actually able to put my strategic skills to the use because these players aren't completely dumb, but they're just dumb enough.
Yeah, no, well, I have an odd feeling I think I can make an educated guess on who started that, but
Who
not
are you
fucking happy.
thinking?
I'm guessing Harrison.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm thinking
Harrison is clearly like a
He needs to go next.
superpowered player. I want him out next.
Pre-merge
Like,
people said he would be superpowered, but nobody's voted Faith, and it's been like, okay, we need Faith out of here. But now Harrison is just a
yeah,
bigger-
but if we keep trying to waste our time,
would vote Harrison, I think. Remember?
Yeah, we vote Harrison next. Harrison needs to go. I can't even believe I have to explain why he needs to go, but he is literally running the game. He just completely controlled that Venom blindside, sending him home completely on his own, which is very frustrating. I don't know if you could see why I might be frustrated with that. Venom did not deserve that. Faith and Controller seem to be fairly close with Harrison, but I think it'll be fairly easy to get them to flip on him, especially if they realize how much of a threat he is. Semaj and Alison are literally with me. They're probably my tightest alliance here. And I feel like Adachi would work with me, but I feel like he could see a big move, possibly? I don't know. I'm hoping he doesn't really see a big move in something else, and hopefully he goes with Harrison with this.
Okay, so I think, what do we think the move is here then? Like, yeah, we need to get Controller out, but we also need to make sure that people don't, like, group up like that. Getting Venom out was a good move, but
It was.
they realized, yeah, we still have Adachi with us for sure.
Yeah, we do.
But-
But even then, that's 4 people in a 9-person tribe. So if either 5 can assemble the majority, then we're in bad position.
Yes.
It's just, I'm not even upset that I wasn't included. Like, it's just the fact that when you, like, get put out in, like, a place where, like, oh, nobody wants to work with you for, like, 60 tribals in a row, you know, kind of gets boring after a while.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel like those people are lying to me too, so I feel like I'm probably going to be put in a similar position to you.
I mean, people want to blindside, but they don't realize they're the one getting blindsided next. Like,
I agree. That's why I thought it would have been stupid if like anyone wanted to take me out at that point. Because it's
And
like, what's the point? Like, you get no benefit from taking me out so early like that.
yeah, the thing is, I was like talking to people and I was like, I think it's really stupid to vote Fate or Controller, but I will since everyone else is. And then I found out a plan anyway. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
I mean,
shit.
I started joining and I was like, have you heard anything? And everyone's like, not really. It's probably just between you and Faith again. I was like, I figured.
I have a proposition. Harrison and Twiggy have been running this game since day one. We gotta take one of those two out this round.
My thing is, they're not gonna flip.
I know. That's the thing. It's like, who can we get if we were to try and take a shot?
I know Alison probably doesn't trust either of us.
I know,
but
and that sucks.
Alison is getting pissed that she's being left out at plans.
Which is
and
why
I think she does also realize that there's just a big majority working.
if
So
we do fill her in on this plan,
she could easily just go to them because she doesn't trust us.
that, or she'll be like, hey, I'm actually included in this thing for once.
Yeah, she
And
might go with
then-
it. Because like she's
and then
pissed
go
at the
with it.
majority. Because like I was explaining, I was like, they did not tell me until we were filming confessionals. And like these are guys that I'm supposed to be trusting. My thing is like I trusted those people. I think they're just dragging me along.
yeah, there's obviously some sort of plan that people are doing. I don't know what alliance exists, but I'm not included. I was allied with Istelle and Venom, and they're both gone. So like,
Yeah.
my game is in danger.
I mean, I'm down to, switch up this game,
Yes, I feel like we have to.
Because
I don't know what is happening in this game. I get completely blindsided once again, once everyone is like, oh, we're gonna do Faith or Controller. And then me and Over are the only two that end up following the plan. Everyone blindsides Venom, one of my closest allies. And once again, Adachi's all like, oh, I'm sorry for voting out our ally, but I didn't trust him. And now it's just like a cycle. I don't trust anyone here. Me and Over talked about getting Harrison out because we think Harrison is like the strongest player here. So I would love if that happens. I already was planning to throw Harrison's name under the bus soon. So we could get that going, I'd feel better, but we just need one vote to go our way. Because if this trend continues, I will be on the jury with Venom very soon, and that's terrifying.
Well, I'm just saying I really appreciate you too, because I'm not trying to out anyone, but you both told me the vote and nobody else really did, so I'm just getting that off me.
Be like us three are kind of I wouldn't say I don't know I don't know how to word this. Maybe least respected, like out of everyone. I would say.
I feel like Charisma.
Yeah,
So I think us three could be something decent. I feel like threat level wise, we're all about the same. I don't know.
I mean, look, hey, we're at the final 9. 3 people can have a lot of power.
Exactly. And we're not even that connected alliance-wise, I guess, so I don't think anyone would think us three would work together because they underestimate us. Like, they don't really think, like, Auxiliary, they probably don't think you'll do anything, and so we could just, like, throw that in their face to get them out.
So, right now, the way I'm playing this game is similar to how Korean pro League of Legends teams will play their professional games. And it's an ultra defensive playstyle that just capitalizes on the littlest of mistakes to build up a small lead over time. In Survivor, if you think about it, that's the optimal strategy. I don't really have to go around saying a name, because if someone says someone else's name, I can simply point that out and other people will go for that person. There's so many mistakes, just big, small, that so many people make every single round that there's always a crack to slip through most of the time. It will get harder and harder as the time goes on because there's less people to hide from, but for now, I think I just need to keep doing my style.
Harrison, Twiggy, me, you are going to be targeted.
I think Harrison and Twiggy have already been targeted. I think that's what Ova's going for.
I think Ova's gunning for them now. And I think out of those 4, we're seen as the 2 lessers.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what? Right now, that's a good position to be in.
Exactly. So, like, that group, they're probably not going to target us. And I like Harrison and Twiggy, so I don't mind working them, you know?
Yeah, I agree with
that. I think me and you should just tread carefully, play defensive, and try and get further together.
And the only issue is, if people do respect Harrison more than they respect us, so if we do go to the end with Harrison, there's a good chance that...
No, I don't think we should go to the end. I'm saying maybe for a few votes, because I think me and you can beat him in challenges pretty well.
Alrighty, final 9. Welcome to your next individual immunity challenge. Harrison, I'll take it back.
Alright.
Once again, individual immunity is up for grabs. Let's get to the challenge.
In this next immunity challenge, all 9 players will attempt to complete a small parkour course to retrieve 5 pieces of concrete powder inside of a chest. Then with that concrete powder, they will then fill up a glass tube. First 3 castaways to fill up the tube with concrete powder will then move on to the bow and arrow portion. Well, then they'll try to light up all lights, creating a number 8. And that player has 1 immunity.
Survivor's ready. Go. Harrison and Adachi going up. Same as controller. Semaj up there now. Anyone's game. Adachi going down to fill up his first piece. Misses, has to go back to the beginning. So does Harrison. Controller, the only one to make it first. Controller in first place in a parkour challenge. Chompzers misses. Controller now taking a very nice lead. Very comfortable. Controller the second piece. Adachi with his first piece. Chompzers goes for his first piece, misses again. There goes Semaj. Semaj misses his once again. Remember, you're not going to make it unless you go on top of your chest. Ova with his first piece, Harrison with his first piece, Akashi with his second, Chompzers going for his first piece. He nails it. Here goes Harrison. Harrison Ova misses, but Harrison gets it in. Akashi. Wow, this is very close. I think Akashi's on his Adashi's on his last piece. Faith finally makes it up. Faith misses. Harrison with one more piece left. Adachi has to go back. Semaj now back in it. Controller now back in it. Chompzers now in it. This is very close. This is Harrison's one chance to get to the final round. And there he goes, claiming a spot on the final round.
I understand.
Harrison will make it on. Oh, and that's it. Controller and Adachi move on to the final round.
A challenge.
Controller, Harrison, Adachi, survivors ready. Go. Adachi and Harrison in it. Harrison a bit ahead of Adachi. And with that, by a millisecond, Harrison wins individual immunity. Automatic shot at the final
That
eight.
was so close. Holy crap.
All right. Harrison, come on up and grab your immunity for the second time in a row.
GG's, man.
Harrison, guaranteed spot to the final 8. For the rest of you, one of you will be the second person on the jury. Everyone, head back to camp.
Night.
Harrison's immune, so what are we gonna do?
That sucks. I don't know who the next best vote is. Harrison was trying to pitch to us that like we should do Faith again or something. Like it's like we tried 2 times in a row and it fell apart.
There's no way it's gonna happen. So 5 is majority. I feel like we could probably talk to Adachi and we have 4 maybe.
Yeah.
At this point, we might as well just vote Faith, because like.
But do you think I voted Faith twice?
We've voted Faith before. This just does not work out.
What are we supposed to do? Like, why would we want to vote, for example, Twiggy? Like, Twiggy sucks at the game. I'm sorry.
Right now, there's us 4, and I'm pretty sure we can stick true. But Harrison, I think, has Chompzers, Twiggy, and then the Faith controller do it.
What do you think the controller and Faith are leading?
I have no idea.
Maybe just continue voting me or Ova since you voted in the minority or something.
I mean, who's left? Ova, James, Faith, and Alison.
Those are the 4.
Yeah, what was up with Alison and knowing the Venom plan? Do you know who told her that?
I think it was Adachi. Adachi actually told me that basically right before the vote, he kind of felt bad about lying to her, so he told her about it.
I don't know. I feel like she didn't need to be involved in the plan, but whatever. We got what we needed, so.
The Venom plan actually went down without a hitch. The only issue is that the plan might have gone a little bit too well, because there were a few too many votes on Venom, and the controller isn't really happy about that. After all, he wanted to keep it smaller. He wanted to make sure we had our solid group and nothing more to avoid leaks. So, am I going to be the one to tell him I brought in Alison as a future ally? No. No, I'm not. And I'm going to make sure that he never finds out.
I was just confused on that because, like, then she started accusing me because I was like, hey, I did what I was told, you know? Like, I did nothing with that.
I mean, it is likely that I ultimately played eventually. I'm not sure how likely it is that any of those 3 happen.
It could be tonight. If like, all 4 of them know about the 5-man thing, then it could definitely be tonight.
And I'll be honest, I think out of those 4, Ova's probably the most likely to actually assemble a coalition.
I'm not sure how people were feeling about that last vote, but, like, obviously, it was good for us, personally. I'm just worried because I feel like people have been saying my name.
Really? I haven't heard it from anyone, actually.
With that being said, like, what would you be down to do this time? Because...
Again, I'm down for anything. I've literally just went from a great position to now being towards the bottom of the barrel, it feels like, so...
Yeah, I've been trying to, like, make sure that you were good, and I don't want you to go, so...
And I
people
appreciate
always say
that,
your name, like, all the time. Yeah, like, I already said, like, from, like, when we first talked, like, I got you.
Exactly.
I think people kind of have a good idea about, like, our group, like, our 5.
No, yeah, people are getting wary about that, which is all I want to talk to you guys about. Obviously, like, in their eyes, they view Harrison as the leader, and since he's safe, that would fall onto, like, one of you guys and me, right?
I think the one that's most sus of Harrison right now is Faith. I think they're all sus of Harrison. And then I think they're starting... Yeah, they're starting to, like, associate Twiggy with him.
Yeah. Like I already know that they were probably saying my name.
And Chomp has been like, he's been quiet, but I think people are like catching on as well.
If people were gonna do Harris in this vote, then they would probably view Twiggy as the next best option, I would say.
Basically, the down low, we need to vote out Faith here. She cannot stay another tribal.
I agree. All right, I agree with that.
These last minute changings are just getting too much. And I hope Harrison's with us, and I hope we have the numbers, because hopefully people should be able to see what's going on now. So I guess if you're down for that, we should be chill.
I'm down. 100%.
All right.
So it sounds like we need to get the votes on either Ova or Faith.
I agree. I think he's controller with us, and I think with Adachi. So we just get 5 together, and we should be.
Yeah, we have Twiggy. We have Twiggy.
We do have Twiggy, which means we have 5. 5 out of 9.
That's 5. That's
all we need.
Fucking sexy. So here we are again. Unity necklace around my neck. This is great for me. It allows me to do things that I maybe wouldn't necessarily do in this case. The reason for that is, you say last round if I would have said Venom's name with no necklace and he finds out, he could flip it back to me and somehow I end up going home. Well, when you have the necklace, that can't happen. So this is another case of that where Ova is now the target. Ova and Fate together said my name. They wanted me out. I want immunity, so they can't do that. But I'm not just going to let that stand. I'm not just going to let that happen. You know, it's things that got to get done. And I know it's been Faith versus Controller for so long, but why not one more round? What's the hurt?
No problem.
No, see, here's the issue. Twiggy wants to take out Controller. But if we can convince him that for one more round, if he can just take out one of these guys that are targeting him, you know, as in Twiggy, then we can take out Controller. And I know I've been telling him this for a while, but it's also been a deal that we were supposed to take out Faith 2 rounds ago. So
that's true.
You know, deals are meant to be adjusted. Ova going here is going to be good for me because Ova has not been communicated with me. Controller has. Faith has a little bit, but Ova hasn't done anything to communicate with me other than once.
Are we gunning for Ova or are we gunning for Controller? Because the last thing I heard was Controller.
I think at this point, Ova's one spearheading the vote to get you out. I think at this point, if you cut the head off the snake, that should finally, again, hopefully steer people away from voting you again.
Yes.
It's getting frankly ridiculous. Well, it's fair to say that lines have been drawn. One side includes my traditional allies in Harrison and Twiggy, and the other includes Ova and a few people I've talked with. One question is, which one should I go with? And I'll be honest with you, I still don't know.
I'm just like, oh god, I hate it. I hate it so much. I've never been targeted this much in a fucking game in my life. Oh my god. If I'm able to make this happen, this is gonna be insane. At this point, it's kind of obvious that Twiggy and Harrison are running this game. What I seem to understand, they've been the one pitting me against literally everyone else on this merge tribe. So at this point, I want it to stop, and to get that to happen, I'm trying to rally the votes for Twiggy. I'm just hoping that everything goes well.
So we're gonna do Faith, or?
Yeah, I think we have to. That's where most of our numbers are at right now.
And then we just figure out something else later.
And Harrison.
One of you talk to Semaj.
Yeah, I'll talk to Semaj.
So right now, I feel like the defensive play style is working out pretty well. I think a lot of people want Harrison out, and he barely beat me in that challenge today, which pisses me off to no end. But I'll slaughter him next time. But people are now going for Twiggy as his number 2, which is what Ova King and Faith are pushing, and then everyone else seems to be pushing Ova King. So we have to consider which one we're gonna do.
If I'm talking like socially, I'd vote Twiggy out because like I know he doesn't trust me, but I'm gonna be honest, he like sucks at the game. Like, what has he done? Nothing. I heard Twiggy's name, but he really hasn't really done anything except like make people laugh, and it's like, I guess he's like a little bit charming. Maybe that's how he wins, but I don't know. I don't think he's done anything like independent really, but so that is why I will be voting for somebody else tonight. Somebody that I feel is smarter and somebody who I feel is actually like deserving of the win. So that's what I'm gonna be basing my vote off. It's not gonna be based on connections. It's strictly game.
Yep.
Your closest with Harrison could screw you over here, but if we all just vote Faith, we should be fine for this vote.
Yeah.
But we can't have any more of this last minute switching.
I know. I admit my gameplay has been a little erratic at times. I'm sorry about that, Ova. I should have.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I blame Harrison for that. Harrison and Faith flipped that vote. Harrison is clearly playing both sides of the season, and he needs to go. That's why I messaged you earlier. We were planning on voting Harrison, and then he won immunity.
Again, I'm obviously a little close with Harrison, even in the same time.
Yeah.
We're together, but again, even I can see that Harrison is a massive threat. If he gets to the end, he's almost certainly going to win.
I think he wants, I think he wants a combination of you, Alison, or Twiggy to be his FTC with him. So he just wins.
Yeah,
so,
without a doubt.
We just really need Faith out, because next vote, we could have a 5-person majority in a 7-person group. And then we can either vote Harrison or vote Controller, given the situation. And then we can take control of this game from there. Because nobody's voting Twiggy out of this game. Twiggy is an FTC for everybody.
Yeah.
Dan hasn't been able to pay attention to a single thing this season, and I think everybody wants him at the end of the season.
So Numbers game seems to be at a very interesting crossroads right now. You have my original alliance with the Reds, me, Twiggy, Harrison. You have a new emerging alliance with Semaj and Ova. And then you have a few free agents like Adachi, Controller, and I guess Faith. Now, right now, Ova has been hard targeting Faith. I mean, hard targeting Faith. And even though, throughout this game we've been able to keep Faith through votes that she really shouldn't have survived, it seems like her time is finally up. Unless I can do something like that. Because it really does feel like I don't have many options here. I might need to finally vote Faith out, which I would hate to do, because Faith is not only an ally of mine, but also a friend, and I just really enjoyed having her in this game, but unfortunately, it might be over. I am a little bit worried about what Ova is trying to do here. It feels like he's trying to take power, and again, I'm not a leader, but I like having power, so anybody trying to take power is a potential threat.
I know we talked earlier a little bit about, picking between Controller or Faith, and I know it seems super fucking ironic that, keeping them in the game even longer seems crazy, but here's kind of my thing. What is your relationship with Ova?
Ova, it's a bit weird. Like, Ova, started on OG Yellow, and I always felt good with Ova, but, we were never too close. I think the closest we've been is maybe just because we were both blindside on the last vote. Okay, so this vote is complex. Ova seems to be in the spotlight here because he was the most outspoken against Harrison.
Ova has said my name, basically, that they wanted to vote me out, but since I won immunity, now supposedly they're targeting Twiggy. Not entirely sure if that's the full truth. That's just what I've heard, which was confusing to me because I thought Ova and Faith were not good. So why are they doing things together now?
They're working together to try to get you out.
Well, maybe do we take a shot at Ova? Because I see Ova as a bigger threat than Faith.
Yeah.
But what do you think?
I would be willing for Ova to go as long as I have some sort of promise that it wouldn't be me next. It's just how it looks.
Oh, no.
Me and Ova were the only
intention.
two left out, and Ova goes, so it makes you feel like I could be next. So
yeah,
I would really love if we could get, I don't even know whoever's voting, Faith out or something just to disrupt Harrison's strategy. But I really have to do a lot of fact-checking with Chompzers and Adachi.
Basically, I think I have Chompzers and Twiggy flipped. I think everybody's down for the vote on Faith, and it's as simple as 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, we vote out Faith. We can't switch the plan or anything, and we should hopefully have numbers.
Don't, freak out, but Harrison knows that you threw his name.
Oh, poor Harrison knows I threw his name after he's ignoring me this whole time.
Yeah, so
I'm fine with that.
Love you right now.
It's so obvious that
so
he doesn't
who do you
want
think
to
you
work
have?
with me. Chompzers and Twiggy.
Okay.
This may or may not be my last confessional. I guess I'm voting for Twiggy or Faith here, because I think Harrison knows I threw his name out and wants me out, so it's as simple as that. Either it's me, Twiggy, or it's Faith going here, so hopefully it's not me. Hopefully I see you guys again, and if not, I guess I'm sorry for claiming this was the winners of it.
Okay. Yeah, they view kind of me and Chomp as the goats of the alliance, kinda, and then you and Faith are kinda parts of it, I guess.
Is Faith really part
same
of the alliance?
position? I don't know. I don't know how you guys keep voting together, to be honest. It's kind of insane to me.
Alright, it seems it's going to be another interesting tribal. Faith's once again on the chopping block, and if Faith's on the chopping block, guess who else is? Me. I haven't really heard my name, but I have been trying to play both sides. This could bite me in the ass, but honestly, people are playing boring. I don't want to go with a boring majority, and I just really don't know what to do because I'm not sure who I can trust anymore. My game's gone to hell. You know, if I could somehow get the majority out, like, they'd probably be pissed at me, but I would have gotten the majority out, and they couldn't, you know, say that I didn't. But the minority doesn't want to work together because now Ova and Faith are probably turning on each other. It's a mess. I probably just have to stick with it for now. I doubt I'll ever get the votes to actually pull it off. Maybe I'll just have to hope that I'm not next after the minority is.
All right, Final 9. Welcome back to Tribal Council once again. Ova.
Yo.
For a long time, it's been 2 names. Is it going to be the same case tonight where you come in here and it's just going to be a massive blindside, or are you actually going to be able to stick to a name tonight?
I'd love to answer that question, but I have no idea. It could be the names that we've been saying this whole time, or it could be another huge blindside. Honestly, at this rate, the cards are all on the table for anything to happen, and I am not in the position to be able to tell you whether or not that's going to happen today.
Faith.
Oh god.
As one of those obvious names, surviving 2 tribal councils in a row, where's your head at now?
Where do I even start? It's like, you had all the ingredients for something nice, and then just a bunch of like weird random things get thrown in, and then it blends itself, and now here I am at what could end up being another tribal that I survive at, or could finally be my end.
Oh, so when it comes to bringing alliances with you through the game, when do you think it's a good time to finally start to pick off those ones that, you know, you need to go? You know, you could have an alliance of 5, but inside of that alliance, it could be an alliance of 3, and then inside of that alliance, it could be an alliance of 2.
Well, again, it really depends, because at the end of the day, politics is perception, right? It's not necessarily about what your allies have done, it's about how the jury is going to perceive them. And if you have an ally who you know is probably going to beat you at the end due to the jury perceiving them in a positive light, then yes, you do need to cut them eventually. However, we're still at the final 9. I mean, we're still very early on into the merge. There's a lot that can happen, there's a lot that can change. At this point, you need alliances if you want to get anywhere.
Adachi. So going into this vote, you know, sometimes you can't really just plan for one vote. You have to think of what's going to happen next. I want to ask you if you've done any of that thinking at all, or is it kind of just like one day at a time for you?
It's definitely a little bit of both. Most of the time, I like to focus one day at a time. At Tribal, you especially just focus on survival, but it's after Tribal where we really reflect and think on who you want to get further with in the game. And that's kind of where you think most logically, because at Tribal, your judgment's clouded because everyone is just a little concerned and nervous.
And Controller, going back to that Tribal Council where you decided to make it a live Tribal Council, I see that you're not as freaked out. And maybe that's just because I don't see you doing as many crazy things. Now, have you calmed down a bit since then, or is it still as fast-paced as before?
I mean, I wouldn't say the gameplay itself slowed down. I mean, I'm still like talking to as many people as I can. You know, I'm trying to get a more clear picture of what goes on at Tribal Council, because while I did trust the people that I did trust at the one I did make it live, I didn't get that reassurance. I sort of got left alone for a bit. Now I'm trying to branch out a bit more. I wouldn't say that I've like calmed down or I'm not doing as much crazy stuff. I've been doing what I think needs to be done for my game.
All right, final 9. You know what to do. It is time to vote, and one of you will be the second person on the jury. Harrison, you're up first.
Ova, you said my name. It's unfortunate. I won immunity, so your plan was foiled. And now you're coming after my boy. And I just, 1, I can't have that, and 2, I don't like that.
There was a plan to get me out, and I'm just hoping it doesn't work. So I gotta vote over here. I'm sorry, bro, but yeah.
This is for you, Faith. Hopefully Harrison doesn't play whatever kind of idol he might have on you, because if he does, I will be very sad. And hopefully it's you going over me, because if not, I think Harrison might just take over the season.
All votes have been cast. I will now tally the votes. I have tallied the votes. If anybody has it hidden in the idol or an abandoned skin they'd like to play, now would be the time to do so.
You know what, screw it. It can't hurt. See if this is anything. It's probably not. I got it from Zaddy. But if it is an idol, I'll play it on myself.
Right, imagine it's real from Zaddy.
Bro,
you realize it's a cake, right?
Yeah, I do realize it's a cake.
Well, Ova, this cake is not a hidden immunity idol.
Just cut that out.
All votes for Ova will still count.
Zaddy thought it was real for a little bit.
Right.
Alright, last call. Anyone want to play anything?
I mean,
Nah,
if
just
it's
play
me, then
something.
GG.
What happened to mine, bro?
Alright, I'll read the votes.
Someone hold my hand.
First vote. Ova.
It's Shova.
Ova. 2 votes Ova. Faith. Faith. 2 votes Faith. 2 votes Ova. Ova. Twiggy. 3 votes Ova, 2 votes Faith, 1 vote Twiggy, 2 votes left. Faith. Faith.
Next person voted off, and the next member on our jury. Faith, please grab me your torch.
GG.
GG's, Faith.
Always fun. Great game, everyone. I enjoyed every single second of it. This was probably one of the most fun seasons I've been a part of, so thank you all for making it such a good time.
Faith, grab a spoken.
No way, guys. Am I next?
GG.
Am I next? Guys?
All right, final 8. Congratulations on making it one step further into this game. It looks like some of you were able to stick to a vote this time. Everyone grab your torches, head on back to camp. Good night.
What can I say? I mean, it was a blast. I got to play a bit more of a flashy game than I usually do. I took more risks, which is great, but in the end, it just wasn't my time.
Stay tuned for more from our next episode. Next time on Survivor.
There is a snake. I'm not sure if they voted you. There is a snake in the vibe.
My name's on the chopping block. It just is.
Harrison has an idol, and that is incredibly valuable information.
Harrison went up to me and said Ova, but I think Harrison's targeting me.